System one loaded.
Brozo, this is the Digital Lizards of Doom show live at Meltdown. 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 Meltdown.
Welcome to the D-Lot Show. We really hope you like our jokes. If you don't have a girlfriend and you know your favorite cheat code, you'll probably like the D-Lot Show.
That's the one.
Hi, y'all.
Howdy, partners.
So that
Once
was,
in a while
that was
or all
our,
the time?
our country version.
Our country. That's our country.
That was our country. Well, I'm a little bit country.
We just threw that together, so I'm not
And-
even sure how that's gonna. I can't wait to
Yeah,
see it.
we'll
though.
see.
We'll see.
We'll see in
It-
post.
If it even makes it on the video, it might
no, it
not.
will.
So
It definitely will.
it definitely will.
Even if it's complete crap, we're going
this
to put
bro
it up
has so
there.
much faith.
Yeah.
I love it, man.
No, because we've already talked about it. Now we have to use it. Welcome
right.
to the D-Lod Show, guys. We hope that you enjoy our jokes. Actually, I'm sure a lot of our viewers have girlfriends, but they definitely have a favorite cheat code.
If you have a favorite cheat code, you'll
Yeah.
probably like.
The D-Lod Show.
Agreed.
Thank you guys for tuning in again. Let's get cracking on some news stories.
Let's get to some news. What do you
I
got,
had
man?
one thing, because our guest today, who I'm super stoked on having on.
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot to talk about, so
it's
we'll
gonna probably
we're gonna
be
try
a
to
real
just
long
get.
interview.
Yeah,
Yeah, so, and that's what the people want to see anyways. They don't want to just see us. our
a couple of
stupid
goobers
heads.
singing country songs.
These buttheads over here. So we have Andy Schatz coming on, who's the guy who created Lead to Fires
right
is
now,
the name
yeah.
currently. But we'll get into they're talking about changing the name. We'll get
Cool.
into that later. But yeah, I actually had a chance to play it. It's really good. It's really fun. I actually beat somebody. I played 2 games. One I lost horribly. The second one I actually beat this guy who has been playing since like day one. So I was like, yeah, I have like no experience. I'm pretty good at RTSs, and I beat
So that
somebody.
Katamari training.
Exactly. I play a lot of Katamari, guys. So I want to talk about another indie game developer who did something really cool. Beloved indie game. He's been releasing, starting at the beginning of this year, he started releasing YouTube videos on how to make your own indie game with no experience at all.
So
And he
rad,
takes you
dude.
through like the very, very, very basics to like actually making things work. And it's a lot of nuts and bolts stuff. But honestly, like, you know, when I was a kid, I thought that my career path was going to be making video games because that was like my greatest love in life. And I mean, things have taken me in other directions, and I'm very happy with where I'm at. But watching this is like, dude, I could still make a game.
Well, you did pretty well in the Call of Duty franchise. Like, you've done pretty well for yourself.
Did you know I actually? Are you making a joke there? I mean,
I hope so, unless you
remember
really did.
Remember Medal of Honor, right?
Yeah, of course.
I actually
Did you really make the Call of
No,
Duty
when I was a
franchise?
kid, my uncle runs a company that a bunch of his clients are video game developing companies. The main one being Microsoft. And he teaches them how to do public speaking. That's his company. But he has a bunch of buddies at EA. And when I was a kid, I got to go to
Oh,
EA Studios
man.
in San Francisco, and like they like let me screw around with some stuff on Medal of Honor, like Golden something, Golden Sun. Is that no? That's a different game. It was a Medal of
yeah.
Honor game, and
Rising Sun.
Rising Sun. And they like let me like screw around with like some AI stuff, and like they like let me mess around with their environments. I'm
That
sure they
is
like Control Z after everything I did.
Hysterical.
Undo. But
So
but yeah,
you're
actually,
responsible for the Medal
for
of
that
Honor.
terrible game. It was really bad. So anyways, Tom Francis has released these videos, and they're awesome, and you should totally check them out. If you have any interest in making a game, or even just what goes into making a game, just having that knowledge.
If you just want to be humbled.
And Tom Francis is like a likable dude, and they're really cool videos.
Tom Francis is cool, man.
Absolutely. To check them out. If you have any interest in making your own indie game, you should check these out. And again, like the name of these videos is make a game with no experience. So you need zero. I mean, it would help if you're like computer savvy, obviously, or if you have like an analytical mind that can hit. That's a great Russell Crowe movie. Beautiful Mind.
Yeah.
Get
I
on
was
it,
gonna
dude.
say. I was gonna
Get on it,
a little
dude.
slow today.
All right, so
Let's get to some comic books.
I know
I'm
you're slow,
really-
but let's.
He's like, come on, guys.
Yeah,
Seriously.
seems like I got places to go.
But you know him personally, right?
I do. He
So he's
actually
like
was
a
a
homie?
guest on Battlecast. That's how I
That's
reached
right.
out to. I like went on the internet and I was like indie game studios in San Diego, and there's like Behemoth and Pocket Watch and a couple more, and he's the one who like was most interested in doing it.
Cool.
And I was like, I don't want somebody who's
Awesome.
just like yeah, we'll talk to our people. I'm not gonna stay on those people. If they don't want to come on Battlecast, I don't want them to.
Yeah.
But he came on, and it's one of the best episodes that we've ever done. It was
Sweet, dude.
He came on and he played a character. A lot of times our guests are like too shy to want to just like jump in and do it.
Yeah.
On
Yeah.
our last drive back from LA,
That's a good episode.
and it's really good. So yeah, if you want to listen to me and a couple buddies talk about characters beating the crap out of each other in a role playing / turn based kind of thing.
It's too late to make it to your show tomorrow, but
Yeah, I mean we're filming this in the beginning
let's
of
not
April.
even mention that because people are just gonna be bummed out. that
Yeah,
they
well, our
missed
live
it.
show will be posted by then.
Oh, cool.
So you can
Yeah.
listen to our live show, which is happening downtown San Diego at American Comedy Company, April 9th, which this is like weeks after that, but still. Oh my God, it's tomorrow. I'm
I know,
nervous.
man, they're gonna kill it.
Ah,
All right, let's get to some
He's
comic
playing
books.
music there too,
Yeah,
so
kinda.
we'll probably have that in the podcast as well. All right, let's talk about comics. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
You.
This is Dizzy Doom's Comic Boom, one of my favorite segments besides the interview. Of
Interview's
course,
the best.
Interview's
Every
always
time.
so much fun. But yeah, so for me, it's crazy. Like, okay, so Dan knows that I have a tendency to give stuff away. So I'm really working on it in this episode. So I'm gonna try to
Yeah.
like keep
and
stuff
this is number one, isn't it? This is number one. So
Number one.
Specifically, don't give
Yeah,
anything away.
yeah, because
this is
it's-
like the origin story.
Yeah, I can't ruin anything.
Also,
But
I know that you love team ups.
I do love
you
team
love
ups.
teams of superheroes.
So that super talented homies. 5?
yeah.
No, I think he's a bad guy.
Oh, and then maybe 6 in the background. We
No,
we
that's
can't-
a bad. That's
Oh.
a bad guy.
Dude, don't
See?
give that away. I'm sorry. I'll stop talking.
See, I'm
sorry,
doing my
I'm sorry.
thing.
No, do your thing. Do your thing. I'll be quiet.
But I think you're alright. I think it's 5. Five friends. They kind of team up to take down this evil organization. But the coolest thing, the thing that really caught my attention, is it's like you might be going like, oh, team up or evil organization, blah blah blah. No, it's super sick. Like the way this comic opens up, it just throws you right into the action. You get the story, like by the time that you're getting the meat of the story, you're already invested in the characters,
Which is
super
rad
sweet
for a first
Yeah.
issue.
And that's the way. Yeah, I just
A lot of first issues build, which is cool sometimes.
it's very.
But
very
I love one
sweet.
that's just like, boom, here you go. You're in the middle of it.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's really hard to talk about it without giving anything away. I don't. The powers are really cool. Got some super strength, some flight, some ice,
Energy beams and stuff.
Yeah.
Energy field.
Again, I want to say, there's just really no. I'm not.
Say
I'm
one-
not going
you can
to.
say one little thing.
Well, this is why, because that's something that's so hard to translate to a book, to a
It
comic
really
book, you know.
is,
And
yeah.
when you do it well, like Team Genesis does in this issue, it's just so stinking sweet. Like you feel it. You know, you can watch Fast and the Furious, or you can watch like Bad Boys 2, and you can see these incredible like chase scenes and stuff. But in a comic book, to really feel that speed and to get that same vibe, I mean, props, you guys, mega props. So yeah, this is made by
We struggled with this off camera.
Farquharson?
Farquharson. That's
Farquharson?
the most
I-
difficult
I'm
name.
pretty-
I don't know.
And then there's Gutierrez and Hansen. So thank you, Gutierrez and Hansen, for having easier names to say.
yeah.
But you guys killed it on this. Dude. Team Genesis, you guys go check it out. You can get it at Villainous Lair right now in North Park. So
Mhm.
cruise down.
North Park, San Diego.
It's Far Corners Studios, independent, just keeping the independent spirit alive, you know. So come down. Looks like this. I'm sure you can see it on the
We'll
screen
put
right
some
now.
B-roll up of it, yeah.
But check it out. Come support. So check it out. Team Genesis.
Cool. All right, so yours is like lighthearted and fun and you know that kind of thing.
Oh, did you get a dark one?
I got a super dark one.
Oh no,
dude.
man.
No, I'm down for dark. I like dark. Evil Empire. I mean, you can tell from the front. There's a dude giving the peace sign with an umbrella over his head, and bombs are just falling on him. Kind of provocative. Interesting. This is number 12 right here, and I have not read the previous ones. So I'm like, yours is number 1 and it starts in the middle of everything. Mine's number 12, so it's like legitimately in the middle of everything, and it is dark and it is messed up, and it starts off with like just like a hostage situation.
Dude, that's
it's
gnarly.
bloody and brutal, and it's just all the characters are tortured, and it's really dark, and it's, you know me, I'm all about the art style.
Yeah.
Art style is make or break it for me in comic books, and this one communicates the vibe so well without going over the top with it. You know, like a lot of people that are trying to have this gritty, dark vibe, they go too crazy with like splotches and stuff, and
That's pretty tight, dude.
yeah, it's just
Yeah, you
all
can't
of
do
it-
that on a computer.
No, you can't do any of that. This is all, it's just really cool, and there's like, yeah, I'm having trouble not giving anything away. There's like, in the opening sequence, there's like a family. It's like a hostage person, and like
Oh man.
the like force feeding the meat is like reminiscent of like, it's like becomes gory, even though it's just like a piece of steak. You know, it's like gory and like, oh no, that's disgusting. It's not for the young.
What's the rating on that?
Does it even say on the front? No, I mean, if I was to rate this, it's rated R.
Okay.
For
okay.
sure. This is an R-rated comic book, for
Awesome.
sure. Boom Studios is who makes it, and
Boom is cool, man. They make
Yeah,
a lot of good stuff.
Boom is
They're getting
rad.
pretty big too. They're like independent. Oh man, that's
I know.
gnarliness.
and that's not even the gnarliest one right there. I'd open up the page to just cartoonish amounts of blood, you know?
crazy, dude.
And, I mean, that can get a little over the top for me sometimes. I'm not scared off by violence if it's done tastefully and to effect, you know?
Like Kill Bill, dude.
exactly.
I love Kill Bill.
Exactly.
Such a great film.
So yeah, dude, just I mean, I don't know how much of this I want to show, because I don't want, like, if you're watching some tasteful
Which, by the way,
selections.
to mention that, thank you so much for the messages and the comments that so far from the people that have been watching the show. And we do have a few parents that have watched the show and sent us some messages just thanking us for keeping it, you know, pretty old age friendly for the most part.
We're
And
trying our best.
trying
and
our
I'm
best.
so sorry if I miss. I try to go and bleep all of the swear words. If you notice the whoopsie coming up over people's mouths. That's if I miss one, I apologize.
But thank you so much for the support and showing your kids cool stuff too. I mean, like,
Yeah.
that's awesome, and
Get 'em
we're gonna try
started
to
young.
keep it interesting and try to keep it fun, and try to make more goofy songs.
We're gonna be doing.
We should do a reggae one sometime.
Let's get to our interview. I hate reggae.
This is Commander Echo's guest of honor.
Our guest has arrived.
Our guest of honor has arrived. Andy Schatz, thank you so much for joining us.
What's up, dude?
What's up, guys?
We do Nux sometimes, I guess. Yeah.
Nice.
Don't start.
I already love this dude.
Yeah, Andy's rad. Don't get him started, buddy.
Don't get me started.
So people know you from making a little is your company.
Yep.
And obviously I was being sarcastic when I said itty bitty. Monaco was much beloved. People friggin' love this game. I played the crap out of it.
People do like it, and I think we're at like 1.25 million sales. now.
dude,
Yeah, I know.
dude,
Again.
All right,
What's
fine.
up, guys?
I don't feel left out.
That's gonna be. I'm sorry, Dan. That's gonna be the theme.
All right, is this an inside joke? Do people
No,
know?
yeah,
Gabe
tell
used
'em.
to start
Tell
every
'em.
segment with "What's up, guys?" and I was like, "Dude, you can't." Like, we didn't go anywhere, dude. It just played like I'm working with him on it, and Andy's.
We
Yeah.
just explained the inside joke.
Yeah.
There you go.
And
Just
now-
now
became
they're in
not
on it.
funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Everybody's
Everyone's-
in on it now, at least though.
Mm.
So dang, dude, 1.25 million sales on Monaco.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That is
That is
insane.
legit, dude.
So like, let's start at the basics here, man. How did you go from I have this idea to I'm gonna make an indie game that sells a buttload of copies?
So, all right. Long story short, basically what happened is I used to work in like the big budget industry, and there was a time when my company was like, we don't have a contract to work on right now. Everyone should just like, let's just work on stuff internally until we get something. And got it on paper, and then we got a contract working on like the EA game. The shit,
all good. It's all
the
good.
worst
Fine, dude.
EA game, the worst EA game ever.
Which EA game
is that? Which EA
Golden
game?
Eye Rogue Agent.
Oh,
It was
right.
terrible.
We've
What a
talked about
tard,
that.
dude.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
game
yeah.
sucked.
Yeah, it did.
It sucked
it was
bad, dude.
terrible.
I was so excited for that one too.
Exactly.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
dude. That was That was
It's really
I mean,
bad.
it's
That was a
Terrible.
stinker,
When you
dude.
say
Terrible.
GoldenEye to somebody that grew up when we
Yeah,
did,
yeah.
we're thinking N64 was some of the greatest gaming experiences of our lives, you know?
Even the other one, it was right after tomorrow. It was right after World Is Not Enough. It came out on PlayStation and N64.
I know what you're
and
talking about.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
It wasn't GoldenEye, but it was
Right,
really
right.
really cool.
Do you know that the multiplayer part of GoldenEye, like the developers snuck that in without the publishers even knowing?
No
Like, yeah, they programmed it in
way.
like the last week or something like that, and
Dude.
were like just like slipped it in the game.
Wow,
the
that's
publishers
insane.
didn't even know.
And that's what it's known for now.
Yeah, and that's what it's known for.
That is crazy.
Dang.
Anyways,
That's rad.
But sorry, yeah.
yeah.
So worst
this,
EA
like,
game
I
ever?
worked on. So that was the game that was like, I will never have another. I never want to have another boss again. I want to work myself.
Yeah.
So I quit my job, went independent, and started working on other games. And they were like, it's games I'm super passionate about, but some of them sold okay, some of them not so okay. But they were like animal ecosystem simulator games. Totally different audience than this heist game, right? And eventually in 2009, I was like, I'm out of money. I'm gonna have to get a job. And the game I'm working on right now is like, I'm uninspired by it. I have no idea what to do. And like, and I say to myself, I'm just gonna take a break from this game and work on some other little prototype and see if I get inspired and come back to that first game and basically. And I pulled it out, and within like a day, it was already fun. And then but I was like, screw it, I'm gonna make this heist game.
And this is all independent. Like there's
It was all
nobody
independent. It was
like,
just
hey
me.
man,
It
where's
was
the
just
update?
you.
Just me
Dang.
at the time. And then it won a big festival, won the Independent Games Festival, which is like the Sundance of video games, right?
I saw
after-
that when I was doing a little bit of like
Yeah.
research on that game
Yeah.
like, yesterday.
So then, like 3 years later, a game comes out, and does really freaking well. So.
Blows up, man. Yeah, my buddy actually hit me up to come over and play it like right when he downloaded it, and I gotta be honest, dude. Loved the
Confusing.
game. No, not confused. No, it was really simple,
never
but
felt
it
confused
was
by it.
it was humbling because I was so bad at it, besides like being a little kid,
Right.
where I was just dying at every corner. Like every time I walked into a room or like
Guards
went around a
just
corner,
shotgunning
yeah,
you down, yeah.
and talking like speaking in French and just like killing me. And it's just like, man, I suck, but this is so fun.
It's
You know, I think we played for
humiliating
hours.
Getting killed by someone speaking French is.
It is.
Absolutely.
They're freedom fries.
Yeah, it's. I'm playing Bloodborne right now, so it's telling me about it.
All my buddies are playing that too. Is it cool?
I'm a Dark Souls nerd, so
So I
it's
was,
like
I was watching it.
yeah.
So is the point of that game? No offense, guys, to die because like you die a lot.
no. You know what? The thing about Bloodborne and all the Dark Souls games is that there's always a way forward, but it's not always obvious what that way forward is, and you absolutely have to experiment. In fact, I think the thing that is great about these games is the difficulty level forces you to care about the game. And in fact, if you don't act around every corner, you know, in an FPS, you know, you check every corner, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
in your typical like
Well, I
melee
don't. That's usually where
brawlers,
I die.
you just like walking through quarters until you reach the next battle, and then you fight a battle.
And then you
But-
win pretty much every
Yeah,
time.
and
then
but
you go to
in
next
the
one,
Dark
yeah.
Souls game and in Bloodborne, it's like that is the like what is the absolute best strategy that I need for this
Wow.
Yeah.
it really if you can get over the initial hump.
Does something like Bloodborne and Dark Souls, does that ever inspire you to go
yeah.
back to making a game like that, or do you want
I
to
mean,
stick to?
What do you mean, like a game
like
of
an
that genre or a
ambitious
game of
project.
that
Yeah. I mean,
difficulty level?
Would you? I guess just to keep it basic, like, would you ever want to be a part of something like that? Would you ever
like a big budget game?
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
No,
Or have you like just totally? Did you just have such a bad taste in your mouth from that entire industry that you just don't want to stay away from it?
Yeah, I don't know. I have a hard time imagining I'd want to work on a team that large.
What if we're going super hypothetical here? A big studio is like, all right, Andy Schatz, we're gonna give you your own team. That? Are you still like,
Gabe and Dan can get the game for free.
Yeah, for sure. That's in the contract.
That's in the contract.
So, okay. So here's the deal. I think that I would only want to work with a team that really, really everyone really cared about the project. And when you get to a really big team, you stop kind of knowing who the team is. That said, like if it was someone else's team and I didn't have to like shut down my company in order.
There's a thing. There's an interview with Joss Whedon, and he was talking about how every time he sees one of his movies on the big screen, he sees the entire team of
Yeah.
people. Like he watches the credits and
Yeah.
he sees everybody in the movie, and he's always like slightly heartbroken a little bit because he like met maybe like 100 of them.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, like if that.
Yeah.
You know, and he's always just like, man, like so many people are like working their butts off to make sure
Right.
like my dream is coming
Right.
true, and like it kind of sucks. Like I don't get a chance to
Yeah. I
meet
mean,
them all. you
so
know?
so I guess
it's kind of impossible too.
I guess what I'm saying is that like I would totally do that, but I don't think I would want to run that company.
Yeah.
And like, you know, and I want to run the company, right? I want to have that total freedom to be like whatever I want. So, so yeah, I mean, I suppose I would totally do that. I just don't want to run that.
Yeah,
company.
if this is like a utopian society
Yeah.
in the gaming world and there was
Yeah.
no risks and nobody could ever lose their jobs, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
how-
all the real stuff.
all the real
sucks,
stuff
yeah.
gets to you.
Yeah.
How big is Pocket Watch?
We are 2 full-time people right now, aside from myself. So 3 full-time,
awesome.
and then we have a team of 7 or 8 working on our current project.
Wow,
And I
man.
think that's about how many people worked on Monaco
That's
as well.
amazing. That's so cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Man, mega props, dude.
Yeah,
That's
thanks.
so sweet.
Thanks.
So give us the basics on what you guys are working on right now.
All right, so the thing we're working on right now, I got questions for your audience. All right?
Okay.
Okay.
Because we're changing the name of the game.
Oh.
Yeah. We're changing the
Okay.
name of the game. The code name for it was Armada,
Armada,
but there's
yeah.
a million other games there's a game called Armada. There's Star Trek
Yep.
Armada. There's like
Yeah.
a
Oh,
million.
please
Probably
do.
doesn't even know.
If we get the inside scoop, that's
Right.
good for us. So yeah,
Yeah.
please do it.
Okay, so the game we're working on right now, I love real-time strategy games, but I hate playing them.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to make the real-time strategy game that I feel like everyone I feel like is the real-time strategy game to play. And in a lot of ways, is what I'm trying to do here is I also love Magic, but Hearthstone is a game that anyone can sit down and play.
Yes.
Right? And so what we're trying to do is take StarCraft and Hearthstone the crap out of it.
Wow.
Now
Right?
the
So it's
Hearthstone
like
exists. That's like a perfect analogy. for
yeah.
it,
So we call it arcade real-time strategy
Yeah.
in the sense that like you aren't going to get beat by someone who clicks faster than you. You're only going to but a master is still going to beat you every single time, right? So you're not scared to walk some twirly ass stuff.
Yeah.
Right? And he's going to beat you, but you're not scared to throw a quarter in the machine and play him, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's the kind of experience I want to have when I'm playing StarCraft. So
Which you
it's-
cannot have
which
at
you can't
all.
have. No, you have to.
No,
you have
I'm
to be
terrified to
sitting
play people that are
sweaty.
slightly better than me.
Yeah, exactly. You have to be sitting sweaty for 45 minutes at a desk only to be
Yep.
told that your mom, whatever.
Super Smash Brothers just came out for 3DS,
Right.
and I was all stoked because I was like, "Oh, dude, I'm finally gonna get good at Super Smash Brothers, and I'll just go online and play every day." Yeah, not happening.
Yeah.
I went
No.
on. I tried playing multiplayer online. Like, I noticed the other 3 people. Like after the first or second round, the other 3 people that are playing online would
Knew
kill
about,
him
yeah.
and get him out of there.
So anyways, the game we're working on that was codenamed Armada. It was never meant to be the real name.
Yeah.
The game world, it's Revolution in the Animal Kingdom. All the animals are fighting over who's going to have to be the meat, right?
We're animals.
Right,
yeah.
we're animals.
Are there like certain what are the animals?
So it's all like imagine you walk in your backyard and it's like imagine that those animals have a violent society, where
Which
it's
they
like
do, but
which
not,
they
not
do
on the level that your game
right,
portrays.
and so the idea here is that it's like so you're fighting basically to be able to eat the other team. And you feast upon their bones at the end of the match.
And it's good.
It's actually like a World War I Russian Revolution era
Okay.
setting.
That's
so
awesome.
it's like
Is it
brutal.
cute?
And
Is it
It's
cute?
cute.
Or
it's
is
like,
it like-
it's like so. I was talking to my sister about it. I was like I think you're picking the wrong genre if you want funny.
I mean,
I'm
it's
like, yeah, I'm
funny
making a
in
World War I game that's like humorous, and she's like, you're picking the wrong war too. Taking like a cute, really lighthearted take on the idea that these animals are being eviscerated. You're actually like farming pigs, and the pigs themselves are the farmers, but they don't realize that you're also like slicing them up and using them as food to feed your armies.
Dude, this is
So-
awesome.
Yeah, so it's like the resource is basically pig meat.
yeah.
This is like
And,
Watership Down meets like what's that? Fluorescent Green? What was that?
Soylent Green?
Soylent Green.
Yeah,
dude.
exactly. Or like 3 to 12 minutes per game. and super simple controls. You can play it on a console controller. There's only 3 buttons to be able to learn. So it's
Yeah.
like you could play the thing on a fight stick if you wanted to, but you can play on mouse and keyboard too. Definitely going to be PC, Mac, Linux. We don't know yet about our console platforms, but hopefully at least one console platform.
Yeah, I could see it doing real well on like Xbox Arcade or
Right,
something. Yeah.
like that. So it's super fun. You actually like one of the things that's hard about real-time strategy games in general is all of the individual unit movement and group movement and things like that, like a League of Legends or something like that. But at the same time, we've taken some lessons from that. So you actually are controlling a central character, and it's the flag bearer for your army. And so you move around with your left analog stick, and then you tell your army to come to your position by pulling the trigger. So your group
That's
A,
so
you
cool.
pull a trigger. Your group B, you pull the right trigger.
Yeah.
And then you just use A to build structures that will autonomously produce units. So it's like that's basically it. On
And
the
you're cutting
controls.
down on a lot of like learning time, like the huge
'Cause
learning
it's
curve.
like you're just moving a character.
Yeah,
around,
the
and you get
faster
out of
you,
game.
the faster you can figure out how to play, the more fun you're gonna have.
and
just get sucked in. You
the
know?
closer you like the way I see it is like with any video game, there's certain you are thinking at a strategic level and then turning that into game actions or physical actions. Whether and even like how do I take what I want to do strategically and click the mouse or move the controller to make that happen. And in games where it's like they use every button on the controller, that can actually be really complicated and there's a huge
yeah.
barrier to entry, right? Or like I mean, I love first-person shooters, but like for someone who's never played a first-person shooter, particularly on a console controller, there's this huge part of your brain that is devoted to just like, how do I move my thumbs in order to like make
How do I move and aim
to
at the
do
same
the
time?
yeah, to do
Yeah.
the thing I want to be able to do. So the way I see it is the thinner you can get that barrier between strategic thought and game action, the strategic thought. So what we're trying to do here is get rid of the controls, get rid of that translation of strategic thought to game action, and make it so it's just strategic thought. So it's like when someone beats me, it's because they out thought me, not because they out clicked me. You know what I mean?
Wow. Yeah.
And so so that's the kind of thing we're trying to get. We're also trying to make it so it's like ultra customizable in play style. So it's like rather than choosing from one of 3 races like you do in StarCraft, you actually design your own race. So all of the various different unit types are available to you, and you get some good ones, and they should be like complementary to each other. And then they all have strengths and weaknesses. So when you take on the other guy, and you're like, oh god, that guy's got the boar flamethrower guy and the skunk gas grenade guy, and it's like, okay, so my squirrels are weak against his flamethrowers, and that kind of thing.
So you get to see what they're picking as you're picking?
No, you only get to see it once the match starts. So
Okay.
it's like, oh, I'm gonna have to play totally differently this time because he's got flamethrowers.
Yeah.
So it's like every match is gonna be different, but every match you also get to play with your own style because you pick maybe a bunch of defensive structures or whatever.
That
so
is cool, man.
yeah, I'm super excited. I really think we've absolutely nailed it, and
Yeah.
like I'm super psyched about that because like now I can go home. It's not out yet. You can't buy it. We're still in development, but you can follow development at LED Thursdays, and we're real active on Twitter. We have an IRC
Right
channel that
on,
we're
man.
in all the time. We have pre-alpha testers that have hundreds of hours in the game already. That like
Yeah.
they just love the game, and they're just they literally they sit in our chat room and play with us every day, all day long.
That's so cool.
Because it's still like we had someone recently tell us it was their favorite game they've ever played. And
What's the
good sign.
soundtrack gonna sound like?
so it's also by the guy who did the Monaco soundtrack, but it's a very different sound.
Cool.
So that the Monaco
I'm guessing
soundtrack,
World War One.
Yeah.
And little. You said Russian.
kind
Is
of
versus
like,
like
what
in
am I
another
doing
world.
here?
I love that. That was
Yeah.
awesome.
It's beautiful and
Beautiful.
creepy at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very great.
doing something very different. We are doing drunken Russian flavored with a little bit of like Latin tango or
Dude.
so it's all like, but it's not. I'm not talking like communist Russian. So it's like with this, there's gonna be a lot of like
What's that? There's a
yelling and
Ukrainian
war
band
cries and stuff
that the
in someone's living room, and it's like dudes in like sailor outfits, and it's like so that kind of like just like a riot of the people. It's like this is a
Yeah.
war, just crazy
And
off
cute.
the wall.
It's gonna be very
And
cute. Yeah.
We're actually for all of the voice. You know what Simlish is? Have you ever heard of Simlish?
Simlish, no.
Mm-mm.
You know the game The Sims, which is a language that is built using the sound, the bits of sound from English, but none of the words are real.
And you can understand what they're saying,
Yeah,
though,
you
which
can
is weird.
understand,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
You could even like repeat the lines, but they don't mean anything. We're making up
Russian
a-
Simlish?
Yeah, we're doing
Dude.
Russian Simlish for all of the
Dude.
characters.
That's awesome.
And we're getting people that like speak Russian that can actually like do the titles lately. So they're doing the vocal audio for us.
That'd be
That's tight,
cool.
dude.
Super exciting.
Yeah, my friends used to, when we played Sims, we'd always get a kick out of like say something. I think I know what you're about to say, which is awesome. Is we're about to say this is gonna be like the unveiling?
No, it's
some
not
of the
the
names?
actual
Not the unveiling. I was
We
gonna
don't know.
say,
But the list of names,
Yeah.
though.
our viewers, this, right?
Yeah, I want to hear people's thoughts and
Or
opinions.
do you want people to also interject their own ideas?
absolutely
Okay.
whatever be locked on this?
Lead to Fire's out of it.
So Lead to Fire is the one that we have been using. We thought it was going to be our title, and there's all sorts of right, but but that's sort of a deeper conversation. And but we've decided it's just like it's not working. It's not working.
Lead to Fire is okay.
It's okay.
It doesn't communicate what the game is,
Right.
And like the vibe of the name well enough. Like
Right.
Lead to Fire, I'm thinking like, I don't know, maybe like a third person or first person like World War I action game. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
Like that's
Yeah, but that's memorable.
yeah.
That's what I mean. That's what I
yeah.
mean. It's just
That's-
like
yeah.
fat princess.
Yeah.
There you
Is the name.
go. Marrow.
I already
Ding.
like Marrow.
Can we put a ding?
the technology to insert a ding sound effect?
I don't know, dude.
Well, I'll do
All right,
something.
I'll do it
with
again.
I'll
So
do something
the
with
first one is Marrow.
ding. Yeah, we have the technology to do this. Ding. Okay, Marrow. I like Marrow.
He likes Marrow.
It's dark. It's relatable. Like people know what marrow is. You know,
Right,
they
right.
know their dad's sucking marrow out of the bone. You know, and that kind
Uh-huh.
of stuff.
Wait, what?
You know,
eat
like
Marrow.
yeah. Usually it's something your dad does, and you're like grossed out by it, and then you reach like age like 22, and then you're like, damn, this stuff's actually really good, man. Good on you, Dad, and it's full of nutrients.
Oh, I like that one.
I
dude.
like that
Ding.
one too. I like Tooth and Tail also.
Tooth and tail is
Marrow's a little
cool.
darker, and it's got a little bit of like a goriness to it.
Uh huh.
But I like about Marrow is it's like juxtaposed by then you see like the graphics and the art for the game,
Yeah,
and it's like
cutesy, right.
cute and
Well,
like,
it's not totally cute, but it's yeah.
I mean, it's
It's-
animals.
right, it's animals.
anthropomorphic animals. So I like that juxtaposition, but Tooth and Tail.
the tooth to tail ratio is an actual military term for the relative strength of an army based upon how well they're able to get their supplies to the front lines. So
Wow. See you later, Command and Conquer. And StarCraft.
You're gonna give it to Command and Conquer.
That was part of the joke, Dan. But thanks for thanks for going
Sorry.
all literal on me. Sorry.
Red Alert was a pretty solid RTS.
Red Alert was.
What's that?
That
Command and
was-
Conquer. I'm gonna whoop you when the camera goes off. Dude.
Whoop you, boy.
Tooth and tail. Tooth
and
and
tail.
tail.
I'm a
Tooth
fan,
and
man.
tail. Yeah.
Tooth
I'm a
and
fan
tail.
of that one.
He likes
I'll
tooth and
knock
tail.
that too.
What's up?
Handshake.
Yeah. So,
What is this like? 1993.
what specifically about that is 1991 Hawaii?
Yeah.
What's up, dude? Right? And then like this wavy
Catching
thing?
some
Dude,
waves.
I
bro.
never.
You never saw it
This
as a
guy's
wave?
genius. No, wait, I did, but he's a genius.
For just like
Yeah.
putting words to it.
No,
Gosh,
I don't
man.
know about that.
Dude, if this show ever gets like super big, you got to make a D-Lod game.
Dude.
How
Awesome.
sick would that be?
Done.
That'd be tight.
Like, I can be pissing off Dan the whole time,
Yes.
and then he can
Like
be like
standing
running
on
around
him?
with me,
All right.
like with a
that
hammer,
too.
kind of like a Bart Simpson and Krusty kind of thing.
Okay.
like that'd be.
Listen,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
When
yeah.
that giant studio hires me to make the big game,
Exactly.
this is the game.
That'll be the.
It'll be like Peter Jackson when they asked him what movie he wanted to make.
Yeah.
He said King Kong. Like, you can make
God.
any movie in the world. What do you want to make?
That's sad.
King
That
Kong.
that's sad to me though, man. It's
What?
like he wanted to make.
I'm
I'm not
snob.
ashamed.
I'm a snob, but I have some guilty pleasures. That
But
King
we-
Kong movie is definitely like
I
you
mean, I
get
was okay with dinosaurs, but then like the way that they survived among
Yeah.
the like, dude, really, you're not gonna get like stomped on. Nobody
Yeah.
is gonna get stomped on by a dinosaur that's part of like the main like. I don't know. It's a movie.
say that I actually like. I haven't seen the
Dude,
4 or
I like-
whatever.
I haven't
I
seen
like
4 either.
Transformers
the
too.
others.
I
I
have
like
it if you want to borrow it. Age of Extinction.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Okay.
They're fun.
Beauty of Transformers, like we just want to see the Autobots
Yep.
fighting Decepticons.
Nope.
If you don't even need to go into this crazy ridiculous storyline.
Yep.
The fourth one's pretty good
Yeah,
because it's almost like he stays away from that. It's like, here you go. You've seen the trailer, right?
yeah, of course.
So you know that the
dinosaur.
Dinobots are in there?
yeah. Oh,
Dude.
yeah, right.
It's so
Yeah.
freaking cool.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not ruining anything, by the way, because he always gets mad at me for spoilers.
Yeah.
That's all we want. And no, the fourth one was pretty cool.
All right.
Damn, that
Yeah.
actually sounds pretty cool.
It's I don't know, man.
You guys remember Beast Wars?
Of course.
Yeah.
When like the really cheesy like.
That one was way earlier,
Yeah, like-
right? Yeah, the claymation.
What about
That was great.
was it Matt?
You really believed it in that movie.
Seriously. I
Yeah.
could just feel.
You feel the heat of those ovens, yeah.
No, was it Max Steel? That computer.
Oh,
You know what I'm talking about?
Because we're talking about it and can't remember the name, I will put up video of this show.
He's really good
like,
at that.
overlaid over this. 'Cause
Questish.
but like inside of a computer world.
And what was that other one? Reboot. That was super popular.
Yeah.
Reboot. You remember Nerds?
Yeah. You guys
No.
have time to watch TV?
No.
Dude, anytime anybody's like, oh, you have time to watch really productive and like important and like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I'm working on my next short film.
Like,
Kicked his ass.
he sucks at tennis.
He's
believe it or
very
not.
slow these days. Getting
But-
dark a couple times.
I don't
there,
know.
man.
I don't know, man. Have an opinion, and then other people are like, they go from like this black or white. I loved about Dark Knight Rises. I mean, there's those
Well,
cinematography's
I
great. The costumes
enjoyed
are
watching
cool.
it, but afterward I was like, not my favorite.
Yeah, you know, and that should be okay.
Yeah.
You know, just
The statement that you liked parts of it, you're objectively wrong.
Yeah.
I mean that.
There's not a single part to be like.
it was horrible. He's a
Natural.
natural.
He was born to do ninjutsu.
But yeah, that was woman because that would just be unrealistic.
Yeah.
But you can have a nuke go off.
I think original, but the '90s series.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
It's like
Just
those
drinking out of
ones
a
were.
saucer and stuff.
Yeah, those ones were like
Yeah.
pure comic
But
book. Like
That's
you
part
know.
of my frustration with a lot of the people that have been making Batman films, and is that they keep drawing from the '60s Batman, and I mean, I feel bad because a lot of people are like story, but it made it something that was like, and I watched it as a kid and stuff, but pretty gnarly.
Dude,
story,
I remember the first time
know?
you told me about like what the Joker did. Like,
I mean, he did some
Yeah.
messed
Yeah.
up
like
stuff.
more than you even think. Like just hearing it from us, dude. When you told me like some of the dude.
Barbara
like a-
Gordon and
Yeah.
yeah. I
He's
mean,
like
there's
a
like
serial rapist and like
Yeah.
dark stuff.
he like
man.
emails these really grotesque pictures to Jim Gordon of his daughter.
Wait,
you know, it's like one of his
he
introductions.
sexts Jim Gordon.
He
in a sense.
did I say emails?
No, he said. Oh,
You
no.
did
Emails.
say email.
Did I say email?
You did.
Oh, I thought
Weird.
he's, yeah. all
And
right.
I was like, wait,
Dude,
that was
such a
weird
21st
slip.
century digital boy over
Yeah.
here.
He's like Snapchatting.
No, this is
Jokers.
before
Oh,
email.
Oh crap! He screenshotted it.
Joker's like, hey, Batman. Click. Send a Batman.
I gotta stop this. It's like I got. But yeah,
So he
did
mailed.
some
He didn't
pretty-
emailed it. He mailed it.
He mailed it to
Okay.
Jim Gordon's office.
It's gonna be
but
embarrassing when it turns out you actually did say mail. You probably
No,
did.
he said email for
He-
sure.
he-
I was
yeah,
listening. Yeah.
Yeah,
Alright.
Dan's got my back.
All right.
Quit getting on my case. Man.
Yeah, Andy.
Jeez.
So
You're just a
guys.
guest. You can't come in here. Just run the show. My friends, but a lot of my friends who weren't too familiar with like the Batman story, they were like, and Heath Ledger did a great job. Don't get me wrong, but everyone was like, they made him so dark and creepy. I was like, they like buttered like he.
That is a really just memorable, unique character that like,
is.
I think about all the time because there's this I know all the lines are like completely over. Is just kind of a nihilist and wants to watch the world burn, right?
And
it's like,
how can
there
you
are
destroy
people
that
out
guy?
there that like are there's you know, we've all been on the internet. There are people that literally just want to make trouble
Destroy.
for people and sort of dodges the idea that this was caused by anything or that there's some psychological reason behind any of it, and maybe there isn't anymore, but you can imagine for all these people that like behave like this online, it's like it's usually, you know, it's just like a little kid that's acting out that like can't get attention because by doing good things, so they do bad things because
Yeah.
that's how they get attention, you know. And it's like,
Yeah, or maybe like trying to like seize back any power that they feel they don't have in their daily lives.
right,
You know?
right,
Like,
exactly.
ooh, I can seriously affect people on the internet. I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, so it's like it's hard to affect people in good ways, but it's a lot easier to affect people, to just to see change. It's it's we play games and like it's when you play like a sim game, it's fun to knock the sandcastle over.
Yeah.
Right? And because and
I'm gonna
in
put a
games,
tornado
that's-
here.
Yeah, in games that's fun. It's like it's an outlet and that kind of thing. But it's like when you doing that in real life because it's the only way you can express, some sort of or exert some sort of control upon your world.
Yeah.
That's a whole
Knowing that
different
there's
issue.
another human being on the other side of it.
Right.
It's
Right.
like that's the barrier I can't cross for that kind of sim world. It's like whatever. This is
Yeah.
a program. Like
Right.
cool. Watch them all burn.
Right.
But
Right.
but yeah, in real life, it's like no, this is somebody else.
Yep.
Like I don't want to make just somebody feel bad for no reason.
Mhm.
All right. So you want to get to these Twitter questions now? We've gone on some nice long tangents.
But yeah, to wrap it up, send us your ideas.
Yeah, for title.
for the new game.
Marrow,
Tooth and Tail.
Give us 3 just to make it like a 3-er. What's the third one? Can you remember a third one?
Oh,
Or just think of one randomly right now.
yeah.
But it has to be really good.
How about
Scurvy.
scurvy. No, how about gristle?
Gristle.
Gristle. Well, Gristle
Dang,
and Bone.
Gristle's pretty good, actually.
Gristle and bone.
Yeah, Gristle and Bone.
Oh.
The problem with gristle and bone is it kind of sounds like either.
That sounds
like,
a little dirty.
Yeah, it also sounds a little bit like a hipster restaurant or something like that.
Yeah, like it's trying to gross you out just so much.
What's
that,
that place
you're
we always go
into
to in North Park?
it. Soda and Swine?
Soda
Soda
and
and
Swine.
Swine.
It's like the crappy,
Totally.
unsuccessful cousin of Soda and Swine.
Gristle and bone is
I don't
the
know
one in the
why
alley
we're not
behind
doing
it.
well, guys. Like,
Soda and Swine's doing well.
people are like, this is really
Gristle and Bone.
chewy.
We got a tattoo parlor.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right, Dan's favorite section, everybody.
That's not my favorite section. I just like
It
to
is
keep the
his favorite
segment
section.
moving. Okay, so from at Nana Ninu,
Is at the top.
stick your head in doo doo. Your work is so clever, dude. These people love you. By
That's
the
what
way,
I was
man.
saying.
So
That's what I was
clever.
saying. Man.
Your
We
work-
got some major love
Awesome.
on the Twitter today.
So opening with a compliment. Good move, Nana Ninu.
Yep.
Say that 3 times fast.
Nana Ninu, Nana Ninu, Nina. Dang it!
Yes,
Okay, you got me.
Finally got him.
I'm usually so good at those. All right, your work is so clever and creative, Andy. So why Pocket Watch? Is there a hidden meaning?
In fact, there is Nana Nino. Let me tell you about it.
I'm actually curious. I never even thought about that. Yeah.
So, my design aesthetic is that I like to build things that are very simple to interact with and have a simple sort of input-output with regards to how the player or the user interacts with them, but are driven by complex mechanical systems.
Yeah.
And so learning to understand how to interact with this very simple thing requires that you earn
Dude.
a sort of understanding of all of the complex things that are going on behind the scenes.
Awesome.
And so a pocket watch is that it's got all of these crazy gears going on behind the scenes.
But it looks
but it's
just-
very, very simple. So
all
with
you do
Monaco,
is
it's like
wind the-
play the game, but there's a very complicated system going on. And then the same thing here
Dang.
with Lead to Fire / Marrow / Tooth and Tail / Gristle and Bone. The idea is that it's like a real-time strategy game. This is a real-time strategy game with a ton of like depth and like tons of stuff going on and like constant decision making. And to be really good at it, you've got to understand all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But to be able to interact with it is as simple as like flipping open the pocket watch.
So did
So
you
cool.
for the naming when you came up with the name Pocket Watch? Was it a Pocket Watch? This embodies all of the things that I love in games or that I want to create in games, or was it? These are all the things that I love in games. What embodies that? Oh, a Pocket Watch.
Yeah, it was
What-
10 years ago, man. I don't remember.
Oh.
I love how honest this guy is. You're definitely like our most honest guest we've ever had
You
on the
weren't
show.
just like which one of
Whatever,
those
dude.
is cool that makes me
Dark
feel
Knight
more
Rises
interesting?
sucks. I don't care
Yeah.
what people think.
All right, really good question, Nana Nino.
Thank you, Nana Nino.
Thank you, Nana
okay,
Ninu.
Next one is from at Jessica Ohirju. Ohirju?
I think you can
Oh,
leave the
Hannibal?
at off unless at is at the beginning of the name.
Unless it's like at
Yeah.
Jessica. No, I'm just kidding. All right, can I? Should I?
We're having fun and learning things. It doesn't get better
You
than
can
this.
leave the at on. You feel
All
more
right, well,
comfortable with
I'm
that.
gonna say the underscore then.
All right.
Jessica underscore Ohirju. Are you a fan of espionage films, and was that the influence behind Monaco?
Well, Jessica.
Ohirju.
Oh, here you underscore. Oh, here you.
Snap.
Yeah, I will. I love espionage movies. I watched a lot of heist movies.
You said
Full
heist right in the
Monaco.
beginning
Yeah,
of the interview, and you
and,
said you had an idea for a
and
heist game.
I'm a huge fan of those games because it's like heist movies. Here's the thing about heist movies: they are like the ultimate nerd fantasy, right? Because when you're a kid, and let's imagine the nerd that has a few other nerd friends as a kid. You know, the freaks and geeks style nerd, right? You have your little gang.
Yep.
Right? You have your little gang that feels like maybe we don't fit into the rest of society, but we each have unique talents that we can use to outsmart everyone else. Right?
Dude.
That's what it's like growing up as a nerd. So
Can
like
we hang out with him on a daily basis?
I'd love to. He's just too busy.
I know,
He has
I know
a
you're
kid now
busy,
and
but
stuff.
dude,
just
like,
I would love
can we
to.
just like
I would love to.
Can we just what's that?
You can
what's the
bottle
thing?
me.
Skype.
Can we just Skype?
That
Can we Skype each other to
thing?
sleep
Yeah.
every night, dude?
Yeah, sure. We can. We just
I've
text
heard
each
of this
other.
Skype technology.
Yeah. So anyways, to me, like heist movie, that's to me is what's so fun about heist movies. That they're all kind of that kind of fantasy.
I've
That it's
never
like,
thought about that. And
Yeah, it's like
so
we're
true.
gonna outsmart society, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
With our specific talent.
With our talents.
I
yep.
love those movies too, like Ocean's 11,
Mhm.
Italian Job.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I love like
like Snakers, man.
Sne-
like in a different
Sneakers,
sense.
The Good Thief. I really like Confidence is a more of a con man movie.
What about
uh,
what about that Patrick Stewart one in the '90s with the two like punk skateboarder guys? Oh, come
I don't
on,
know,
dude.
I saw this. Patrick Stewart, really?
Yeah, Patrick Stewart's the bad guy, and he takes over like a high school or something
Oh,
like that.
yeah.
And then these two skateboarder
Slacker? No.
No, yeah, I know what you're talking
Oh
about.
man, it had this.
Re-
It has a white, pink, and like green cover. I think it's like very like
I know what you're
90s
talking about.
skateboard cool kid. I'll show
don't
it to
remember.
you.
Man, I have no idea.
Oh man, it's driving me crazy.
Out of Sight is the only really great J-Lo movie. It's J-Lo and George Clooney.
Not
Out of
Jack?
Sight.
Come on, dude. Jack's pretty good.
What's Jack?
With Robin Williams, where he grows up way, where
No.
he
J-Lo's in
ages
that?
way.
No.
Yeah, he's his teacher.
Really?
No,
Yeah.
No.
Oh, I know.
no, no.
When I was a kid, like just the concept of it.
He's out of here, dude.
How old were you when that movie came out, though, Andy? I was like 11 or something.
Old enough to know it was terrible.
Yeah. I didn't have the same.
Which
sense
was
as
like
you.
5.
Yeah.
No, anyways, I'm sorry. I'm sure it's great.
This is my family bonding viewing.
What else? Yeah, I don't know.
but you do.
I love
You
heist
obviously
movies,
love
yeah.
heist
And I love
Espionage films.
espionage films, like international thriller style
Are
stuff.
you stoked
like-
for the new James Bond, Spectre?
The last few have been really good, but
Yeah.
whenever
It goes
whenever
on
it
for too long.
Yeah, whenever they veer into like I feel like every other James Bond movie feels like they're cashing in, and then like whenever they get a new guy, it's like they really revitalize it, and they're like, we have to sell this new guy, so they put everything they have into it, and then they just get tired. They just get tired, and they get tired real quick. Like Pierce Brosnan, Goldeneye is amazing, and then they go downhill real quick after that. So yeah, I'm
Although
psyched,
The
but-
World Is Not Enough is my favorite James Bond song.
Oh yeah.
I was like, jeez, I could
About to
feel
beat the
that.
crap out of you. Way worse than Jack,
They're
right,
like-
Andy? Right, Andy?
They're raising their fists on that one.
I was gonna say also, it felt like they wrapped up everything in the last James Bond movie with the Daniel Craig stuff.
Well,
Like I was like, isn't this the end? Like, don't you have to have a new James Bond now? I don't know.
say it.
But by saying it right there, I've already said it. I've implied
Okay,
it.
so at
Meteor Cow. Good name, right? Right.
It fits too.
yeah.
Wait, do you put some of the questions?
Episode, whatever, where people have actually just said stuff. They were so excited that they just said stuff. They didn't. So.
All right. So
There you
first
go.
off, I have to give you a high five.
Yeah, I have to give you a high five.
Give him a high five. No, that's not a question.
I am
quote.
Meteor Cow. Meteor Cow.
I feel like that would get not
Like the Tom Cruise effect.
like where everyone's just like, oh, Mission Impossible is the best thing ever, dude. Good job, Scientology.
And he's just like,
good on
yeah,
you,
I
dude.
know.
Like, how do you like stay fresh?
It's not a good trait, but I'm one of those guys that always thinks that he has to get people's approval because I always feel like people don't like bullying horror.
I can relate to that for sure.
So
And especially when what you do requires valid. People have to spend money. Fluke, like
yeah,
this
yeah.
game was like you making this game was perfect, but maybe you making another game would. Talking about
Yeah,
Bryce.
Brycey's red.
Bryce, we were talking about you off camera, dude.
2 degrees
before.
of separation.
He
from
is
Bryson.
the one who showed me.
Looking forward to the project he has in the works right now, and tell him we didn't forget about being promised Monaco for PS4/Vita.
What? I didn't promise that. I said
Maybe
I
you
would
did
like it. I would like to.
Do you have like some henchman that was like, "Yes, we promise you this"?
I'm
just to
I
screw with
I,
you?
I got
Yeah,
Because I did play it with the controller on a TV. So
probably 360
360
then.
probably.
Okay. Gotcha.
Unless he was streaming his computer, which he might have been.
Crazy. He has all kinds of techie stuff. So
Yeah.
See, here's what I want to say to you. I'm really glad that I can prove to you that D-Lodge should be probably the
Preach
best
it.
show.
Preach it, Andy.
Period.
preach it, brother.
And I'm glad that I can offer validation to your friends.
See, Brycey.
It's a real show, dude.
So no, PS4 Vita. I've been kind of conflicted about PS4 Vita. I decided about a year ago. I was like, we had an opportunity. It was gonna get. They were gonna port it for us and everything, and like, and I was just like, if this takes any additional time from me working on my next game, like if you think about it, so Monaco took 3.5 years plus an additional like another 6 months of where we were building new content and stuff like that. So 4 years,
Yeah.
right? I made my first, or so, and I started my company 10 years ago, and I've released 3 commercial games in that time and some other stuff. If I can only put out 3 games a decade, and let's say I probably am going to slow down too, but let's say that I work until let's be generous, and let's say I'm going to be still making commercial games until I'm 70 years old, and I'm 37 now. It's like I don't have that many games left in me.
That's a creepy way to think about
Right?
it, though. What's the Psychonauts guy? What's
Tim
his-
Schafer.
Yeah, he said the same thing. He's like, I probably only have like 1 or 2 more games in me.
Oh,
And
wow.
That's like a
Yeah.
scary,
Brutal,
like,
man.
sad thing to hear.
It is scary, and it's really sad. It's like, think about your favorite directors. How many movies did they actually make? Like,
Favorite
in their-
directors.
in their lifetimes.
Favorite directors being good
Like ones that are
movies?
gone now. I mean, there's like the Hitchcocks that have made like just dozens and dozens and dozens
very
of
prolific.
movies.
Yeah, or Stephen
Yeah.
King's extremely prolific.
Yeah.
But there are, but look at George R.R. Martin, right? How many books has he actually published, or will he publish in his entire life?
Yeah.
Not that many.
Maybe like 10 to 12.
Did he
total
get
at the
all
end
of his
it all.
ideas out?
He even just recently said that he's pretty much done with Game of Thrones. He's like,
Yeah, he's starting a
like I'm
sci-fi
super
thing now.
thankful.
Didn't you see he's starting a
Yeah.
sci-fi thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm down.
But is he gonna be able to get all of the ideas that he's been playing around with in his head for all these years? Is he
Yeah.
gonna be able to actually like
And he's
make
in
those
his
ideas?
60s, right? 60s.
He's in his almost deadlies.
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
know.
he's like
not.
disease-ridden.
You know he writes on a
typewriter?
Yeah,
Yeah.
isn't that crazy?
That's crazy. It's crazy.
Nutty, dude.
I actually program on a typewriter too.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, I then
Do you
mail
really?
it. Yeah, I mail
This
it to
is a bit?
India. I know I mail it to India, and then they type it up for me in Visual Studio and tell me whether it compiles or not.
You're being serious right now.
No, he's not being serious right now.
I've gotten real bad at that. Over the last year, I've gotten so gullible. Before, I was just like, yeah. I'm so gullible now. I don't know what
it's
happened.
okay because you get me all the time.
I
on silly
know.
stuff.
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe that's just like a defense mechanism. Because I've been gotten so much recently that I'm like, I got to put it back out there.
Being gotten.
Yeah,
All
you
right.
got- you got
Let's
got-
get in the
you got-
psychology of Dan
No,
right now.
dude. No, that's not.
So yeah, I figured that like, I looked at it and I was like, even though someone else is supposedly doing the work for me, I know that I'm gonna have to be there to be like the guy that makes sure that it's done well and done
Yeah.
right. And there's gonna be something I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to do press. I'm gonna have to do all that stuff. And I'm looking at it. I'm like, I have a hard time imagining that that's not gonna take 3 months of time for me. And I'm like, I want to make a new game. I want to. In fact, not only do I want to make a new game, I want to make a new game and release it when people still remember what Monaco was.
Cool.
Yeah.
You know, and so I decided.
I mean, one way to do that is to release more Monaco, though.
Hey, one
Right?
day we might revisit Monaco and make Monaco 2. We'll see.
That'd be
I'm
cool.
not done with
Monaco, duh.
Yeah, Monaco. Duh.
Duh.
Duh. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't know if it would work super well on Vita either. It's like there's a lot of detail in this game.
What if you had to break out of jail?
you Dude, you didn't play Monaco. That's the first level.
What? Yes, I did play Monaco.
I mean, when I show people Monaco, I usually
you're not
start
breaking
them
out. Are you breaking out of jail on the first level?
Well, I realize the graphics are maybe a little bit abstract, but yeah, you're
I thought
breaking
we
out
were
of jail.
I thought we were saving somebody.
Oh, okay. So you probably you when you played with
I mean-
Brycey, you probably started down on like the second level or something. Like
Yeah, because we were like
Yeah.
breaking into something.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
The reverse.
Yeah, no, but the tutorial mission is
Yeah.
breaking out of jail.
Oh, really? Yeah, I did
I
not.
mean, he probably
I did not
wanted-
even know that.
Wanted
based
him to
on
have
an
the option
actual,
to be all the
like-
different characters and
it's
stuff.
based on
yeah.
an actual guy who broke out of the jail in Monaco.
Was he
he's,
French?
No, this guy's crazy. He's ex-American Special Forces.
Hmm.
He was a psycho. He literally a psychopath. But very polite. He after he was out of the military, he started working as a nurse. There was a banker who ran a major bank who in the 80s, the Bank of America even like they were like spreading anti-Semitic rumors about the guy to try and take down his bank.
Wow.
Really weird story. Anyways, the guy, the banker loses a camera. This nurse guy, who was ex-Special Forces, finds the camera and finds a way to return it to the banker. And the banker says, I'm a sickly old man and I need an extra nurse on staff. Could you come and be my right-hand man? So he does. The banker who lives in New York also has a vacation house in Monaco. The nurse guy starts getting jealous of the attention that the other nurses are getting from the rich guy, and locks the rich guy and one of the other nurses in his bathroom, and then tries to burn down the penthouse that the guy's in, and then stabs himself 4 times, and calls the cops and says that burglars broke in, stole some stuff, and then set fire to the place.
What the heck?
They eventually figure out that this guy was responsible for this, that he actually had stabbed himself. He goes to jail. Monaco jail is weird because it's like crazy nice in there. It's like it overlooks a nude beach. It's like this is the
So
kind of
his
jail.
plan was to get into Monaco jail, pretty much.
Anyway, so this guy's in jail, like awaiting trial, and saws his way out through the bars using a file that I think
That they
was
gave
snuck
him?
from like in a cake or something like that, literally. And he actually files his way out through the bars and escapes and makes it to Nice, which is just a little ways away from Monaco. Where they catch him again, and he goes back to jail for good. I don't remember if he was executed or not.
Then he gets out with a laser that he snuck in with a.
So, anyways, the cleaner is actually based on this guy, and then the whole like opening of like you're escaping from prison, because you're about to be extradited is kind of based on this story. And then
Damn, that's
there's like there's
awesome,
a
dude.
That's
there's
crazy.
there's a guy in Monaco that never really shows up. We call him David is his name in Monaco, and he's based on the banker guy. And it's like, yeah, so it's crazy. It's crazy.
Who's the character that like looks around?
the lookout?
Is it called the Lookout? Sorry, yeah, that's who I was.
Yeah, all right. The Lookout's a good character. She's underrated. She's super underrated.
It's
Yeah,
a
I
girl,
agree.
Bryce, dude.
And no one ever knows. Everyone's like, why is there
No,
only
I'm
one
sure
girl?
Bryce
And
knew.
she's a
He
redhead,
probably did that
and
on
she's like the
purpose.
sexy one. And it's like, no, there's only one girl that you like. We are like call out as very like strongly gendered because like that is the point of her character. But like,
Yeah.
And
The
that's
Lookout-
total heist
yeah,
like films too.
Oh,
exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
Dude.
And then but then the Lookout is a girl too, and it's just like we don't call out her gender as being an important part of the story, and so it's like everyone always assumes that she's just a dude because dude is the default, right? And
Wow.
it's like, yeah.
That's
so.
cool, man. Shout out to Bryce because he loves your game, by the way. So
Well,
Yeah,
I love you, Bryce. I love
Definitely
you.
does. Okay. All right, Weesberger at Weesberger. Can you give us any top secret info on the future of Pocket Watch games, Andy?
Dude, I've already like pretty
I
much
know.
spilled the beans. I told you about.
Well, no, that's top secret then, clearly.
I mean, I even spilled a little bit of beans that like we have been talking about.
got any more
like-
beans? Let's spill
Yeah,
some
like
more.
we've been talking about. Not that we're doing this. There's no promises here. Whatever your name was.
Weesberger.
We-
Weesberger, yeah.
But yeah, we have been talking about at some point doing a Monaco 2. I don't know if in,
Cool.
if
It's
and
pretty
when,
top
but,
secret.
the conversation has been coming up in the office.
And
quite a bit
apparently
lately.
my idea's not gonna fly because we do that in the first level. Apparently,
And the last level comes full circle.
yeah. Again, I wasn't good at the game,
Yeah,
so
no, it's all right.
All right. Yeah. If you're not so stoked on that Wiesberger, I don't know what would satiate you. All right, King_Modbond. With all of your success, what would you say was your greatest ally? That is an interesting question because I don't fully understand it.
Greatest ally. Well,
think
I'm
I
just
do.
gonna make up an meaning.
Well, I think like what do you feel like,
Like something
projected
within
you
yourself,
the
or
the
like
most?
like a mentor, or I don't know. Just, yeah,
Where did you
answer it how
advance? Where did you advance? I guess.
Where did I level up?
Yeah, exactly. Like what were your secret mushrooms?
Mario, not fucking.
Mario, bro.
Not Coachella.
Mario. Not Coachella.
Well,
I mean, we did talk about already your validation thing.
And your
That's-
imagination is pretty impressive too. So we're just stroking his ego at this
Yeah,
point.
dude.
Like we're just
I
interview
feel
done.
so validated. I feel so validated.
Let's validate you
Good.
some more.
Don't stop making games though, just because of us, dude, on our account.
This is awesome.
Well, actually, I mean, I feel like, and I want you to answer it too. But you kind of said something that is kind of about that. You said you're constantly seeking validation,
Yeah,
and that
that's what I was-
propels you in a sense.
That's what I was
I
saying.
suppose.
You know?
But it also makes you feel kind of crappy. You
But
know?
and also here's the other thing about
It's
it.
like
I'm
a tortured
completely
thing.
conflicted about this because like I also have a strong urge not to do what people tell me or not to
Yeah.
do what people want me to do.
yeah.
And it's like my sister's even more so this way than I am where it's like when someone tells you to do something, it almost makes me want to do the opposite. So it's like
Yeah.
when someone tells me that something about my game offends them, it makes me want to do it more.
Have
and
you
it's like-
you've had that before?
oh yeah.
What offended you, or what had
What
offended
offended
them?
people?
Yeah.
Had anyone get offended by that? Well,
That's
good
'cause
on
you're-
you, French people.
People universally agree with you on that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That she's using. So it's a character you unlock late in the game, and it's like the whole idea of her is that she can seduce a single character at a time. and they will
That's
do what she
right.
pleases.
Actually,
And she's
okay.
sexy, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, and so it's like, oh,
Guys want you to make a male character that can go around seducing people.
Yeah, of course the guys are upset by
no,
it.
I think it's just because here's the interesting thing. It's like Monaco is a game about tropes, and so one of the heist tropes, I wanted to make a game about like taking all of the things that always happen in heist movies and make a game that has all of those things.
Yeah.
And one of the things is that there's always a woman that plays the distraction,
Yeah.
right? And that has to be a character in a heist game,
Good for you, man.
right? And so.
Yeah, you're removing yourself from the whole equation when you do that, you know?
Don't give in to
You're not
haters,
saying
dude.
like,
Mhm.
like
Make
oh
it
yeah, I
art.
wanted to make a game with a sexy girl in it. No,
It's revolution amongst like the commoners versus the aristocrats versus the military police.
Oh,
Like,
please.
You should have that as a playable character, and I'm like, that's exactly the reason we should have that as a playable character. Like that should be.
Dude,
It causes discussion. It causes people
Yeah,
to talk. You
and,
know.
and like you should be able to, whether you think, however you fall on any of these debates, like. It's great to have that character and have them be able to play the bad guy or be able to do whatever,
And the bad guy's probably going to be different for different people.
right,
You know
exactly.
what I mean?
Yeah,
Dude,
and
10
then
years ago it would have been the clergy thing with like all of like the problems
Right,
with the church.
Catholic
like,
Church,
you really want
exactly.
this
And
in
it's
your
like-
game. People
and
think
another
about
one
that.
like this one's even more offensive. It's like, so the resource in the game, of course, is meat. It's
Yeah.
pigs, and the idea there is that like each of the four different factions, they don't want to eat the animals that could fight for them, but the pigs are kind of the underclass of their society.
Yeah.
And so they're like, well, we'll just eat the pigs because they taste good and like they aren't going to fight for us. And so it's like you're eating literally the underclass of the society
Yeah.
to feed your army. And it's like,
It's kind of Snowpiercer.
it's kind of like gross. And then it's kind of also like for me at least, like I eat meat. I love meat, but at the same time, like I'm very aware that it's very that I'm willfully I willfully block out what farming is actually like, especially like pig farming. It's like I don't want to know about the pigs dying and how they die and all of that stuff. So it's like, the idea of like, so we confront you with like, yeah, you're slaughtering these pigs that are like, these are people pigs. These aren't just like pigs.
People
Yeah.
pigs.
And it's like you're slaughtering
It's
these
not
people
even like
to
pet
feed.
pigs. They're
Yeah,
like,
so
these could have been your
so
homies,
we are
yeah.
like confronting you with this idea, and then 5 minutes later, you just accept it and you ignore the fact that you're now slaughtering. And so it's like, it's almost like trying to make conscious the idea of like, yes, you are slaughtering these things in order to feed your people. You know what I mean? It's like, so
I don't see. I mean, I love stuff like that. I don't even call it offending people. I don't want to say I love offending people, but I like making people think.
yeah.
Even if it's somebody that I know feels the same way and feels as strongly about something I do,
Right.
I still like to just bring stuff up, even if it's not going to change their mind, or I don't want to change anybody's mind.
Right.
Just thinking about stuff, because it keeps you.
I want to change people's minds on certain things.
I
Some
do, but I
ideas people
don't.
have
Sure.
are
I don't. I guess what I
ridiculous.
mean is I don't want to change their minds.
Well-
I think they need to change their minds.
But
yeah,
and here's
yeah.
also the other thing about it. When you're making art, the best way to have a bad guy or a moral question is to put questionable or even offensive things into the game, because otherwise you're not talking about anything that anyone actually cares about.
Yeah.
Right? If
Look
you
at
just
Breaking
say,
Bad.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
storyline. I mean, how if you just gave the description of that without, like, let's say it wasn't as popular as it was.
Sure.
How many people on the street would be like, "What?
Right.
Like, I'm not gonna watch that. That sounds
Right.
like." If you took specific episodes and you told them like what the guy did,
Right.
and you just told and you told them why, you could tell them why he was doing it. They'd be like, "Oh, I don't know. That sounds wrong." And they'd be like,
Yeah.
"That's wrong." But it's like once you like see it and you see like the passion and why he does what he does. Not that he's just Breaking Bad fan, but I understand why it's such a crazy story.
And if you take out all questionable stuff from anything, you end up just with bad guy Foozle who wants to rule the world because he wants to rule the world. And that's not interesting. That's not a good story. Stories are all about specificity, relatability, and uniqueness. Are these characters where it's like you're giving me something that I haven't seen before, or like maybe I have seen it before but haven't really thought deeply about this character, and the story is giving me a context to think about something that like in a new way. And so putting things that are of questionable taste or morality into art, that is what we're supposed to do.
yeah,
Absolutely.
So
good answers, man.
You did just make me think of this question. Is there going to be a single-player campaign for Lead to Fire?
to be determined. To be determined. We'll see.
Nice.
Yeah.
He knows. He freaking knows, dude. He
He
totally
has an
knows.
inkling.
Hey, look
he
at
for
that
sure has
face.
an inkling.
That smug face.
Because that is honestly one of my favorite parts about playing RTSs.
Yeah.
Is going through that
Yep.
campaign, the
I hear ya.
storyline.
I hear you.
Just building the world for me, 'cause
We
then-
both agree strongly on that too. Like
Yeah.
I love playing storyline mode.
The amazing
I
thing
love
is-
them both, dude.
The amazing thing
love
is,
them
even
both,
with
but-
StarCraft, it's like 90% of people never play online.
Really?
really,
Isn't that crazy?
That many?
Yeah.
really.
Dang.
They only
Wow.
play single player.
That kind of blows my mind. I
I-
mean that
oh.
that was me for the most part.
Maybe
And I would
that's
play
why
on
I
like the
didn't-
hardest difficulty. It's not like I was bad at StarCraft.
Right.
I just didn't want. It's way too stressful to play online.
I know.
Dude.
Well, but then again, that's also the thing we're trying to fix.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And I don't know if we talked about this yet. I played some of Lead to Fire,
Oh yeah.
and I had a lot of fun playing
Awesome.
it.
And that was a while ago too. It's
Yeah,
gonna be. It's
I was gonna
very
ask you
different
like
now.
how is it? I mean, I wish people could like know where it was at when I played it. So
Could
they
you
know
send
the-
us some footage to?
Sure.
if you
Yeah?
want it to be seen? It's
Yeah,
totally
absolutely.
up to
Yeah,
you.
that'd be cool. We can like have some. Well, I keep saying we. Him.
Right.
Yeah.
He's the magician guy. So
All right. Yeah, and at the very least, we've got tons of stuff on Twitch and on YouTube too. So
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
people can
Yeah, we'll
check
direct
out
people to
matches.
that for sure.
speaking of which, because we're wrapping it up, where can people go to
So-
support you?
Mhm.
Check out the games.
do you have
uh,
any potential timeline for this thing getting?
We're hoping to be
even releasing to beta.
Yeah,
know?
we're hoping to be largely done with the initial content by the end of the year, but then I don't expect to release until early next year. So the earliest I would imagine would
Dang.
be February.
Okay.
for the full release.
Yeah, but that would be
Dang.
the earliest. That'd be
Wow,
the earliest.
Good on you, man.
So
Even that though, dude. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then we'll see. Leadtofire.com, which is the old name,
Mhm.
LEAD TOFIRE.com. And of course, you can if you haven't played Monaco, you can get Monaco on Steam or on XBLA on the Xbox. Xbox 360.
MonacoMine.com.
MonacoIsMine.com.
MonacoIsMine.com.
So you can get it there or any of these other places. So
Cool.
Yeah.
Where can we? What's your Twitch channel?
Oh, Pocket Watch. Twitch.tv/Pocket Watch. Go subscribe there. On Twitter, we're Pocket Watch G for Pocket
That's
Watch
right.
Games.
Yeah.
And people can
we're
talk
on-
to you
we're on
directly
Facebook as well.
on
Yep.
Twitter if they
Yep.
want to look at your beautiful mug.
Yep. Oh, and I'm Andy Schatz. I'm sure my name will be somewhere in
Yeah, we'll
this.
put
So
it
just
under your
Andy
face
Schatz,
there.
one word on Twitter. So if you want to talk straight to me.
Cool, man.
So, yeah.
Thank you
Rad.
so much for coming on
Thanks,
the show,
guys.
man.
One last question: if there are people that really, really want to play Lead to Fire or what do we call it, Marrow, Gristle and Bone, if there are people that really want to play this in its current stage right now, do people have this option? Can they
Yeah. So you can sign up for our pre-alpha at leadtofire.com/alpha.
Okay.
And I would drop by our IRC channel, which is just a chat room. Basically, all the development team hangs out in there, and all of our pre-alpha testers hang out there and to play matches and things like that.
Yeah, so go
so that's
ingratiate yourself,
pocketwatchgames.com/chat.html would be where you want to go. Or if
and
you're an
there's links to all
IRC,
this stuff on your homepage and
yeah,
stuff, right?
yeah. So pocketwatchgames.com. If you go there and just look for chat live or something like that, you can chat with us. So.
Awesome.
Sweetness.
Dude, thank you so much for
Awesome.
coming on, Andy.
Thanks,
Yeah.
guys. It's
Been
been a
rad,
blast.
man.
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
We
dude.
shake at the end because it's all like
Shake at the end.
official.
What's up, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we
What's
go.
up, guys?
What's up, guys?
Yeah. I'm glad that our entire audience ship can now make fun of you for that too.
That's okay. It's fun.
Do it, guys, in the YouTube comments. Yeah. Thank you, Andy.
Yeah, thanks.
But do we stand? Should we face each other?
I don't know. It's kind of weird.
But now we're like
I've never been this close to you, Dan.
now we're like Hall and Oates.
Yeah, dude. Where's that? Where's that at? Holland Oats. Holland Oats.
Hall and Oates. Why are we saying don't? I don't like Hall and Oates.
Wait,
Um,
here, dude.
We haven't done one of these today. Wait, yeah, we did in the interview.
Yeah.
Let's make up a new handshake every episode too, dude.
No.
Okay, fine. You're
Anyways.
sold on this one. Thank you for watching, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for putting up with us. Yeah.
That was a cool interview, though, dude.
I do like standing like this though, with our arms up.
All
yeah,
right,
Andy
there we go.
Schatz is the man.
Andy
I really like
Schatz.
that guy.
Yeah, thank you so
He's
much for
tight.
coming on the show, man.
Absolutely. Thank you,
Appreciate it.
Meltdown Comics, for allowing us to do this thing.
Thank you, Villainous Lair.
For allowing us to do this thing.
Come and come check out Villainous Lair. I mean, we're here.
Yeah,
you
look.
guys want to see where we film this beautiful show?
I can
There's
show
just this
you the
kingdom down here.
world.
So come check it out. All the comics that we review here
Yeah.
at Villainous Lair, you can purchase and enjoy forever and ever and ever and ever. So
As
come
long as
check
that
them
paper holds up, yeah.
out. As long as that paper holds up, we'll take care of it. That's why they come in
Dude,
sleeves and stuff like that.
unless something like that happens, all of our possessions are blown to smithereens.
Then we're toasted, so you don't really have
toasty roasty at that point.
a choice. But thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thanks for watching.
We will see you next time. Peace out.
This has been the Digital Lizards of Doom show live at Meltdown. Meltdown.